Good morning. I'm not usually down here on a Tuesday, but I think in fact it's maybe the first time I've ever been down here on a Tuesday. Reason is we're behind a little bit. I was actually on, as you know, on holiday for a few days last week, and I'm just itching to get the boat back on the water. I really am. So today's going to be all about that, just doing the last few little bits and bobs. And then hopefully I'm going to be down later this week as well. The weather, it's a proper spring day here. Fog lifting slightly. It's a little bit chilly at the moment, about 6-7 degrees, but it's rising to 12 and sunny. There was forecast a spot of rain, but that seems to have left the forecast. So I want to get the boat in the water. I don't like it here. It's too open, there's too many people. And just for once, I want to get her back down to our little haunts down the bottom here. She can sit in the water like we normally do. We anchor her. It's a nice, calm day. And I just want to do that. And and work on her down there. And get her in the water. I think it's really important today we get Lulu in the water, because I want to make sure, again, she's not leaking. She was in the water all day a couple of weeks ago, so I'm pretty sure she's fine, but obviously it's always at the back of your mind. So my rollers are still here, so I did put them by the bins, but I kind of wanted to keep it if I could, so I'm going to get those off today as well. So let's do that now. I got a couple of new things today. I think I mentioned last week my ratchet set has... My ratchet set was 30 years old. It was bought as, I think it was an 18th birthday present. I've always been interested in fixing cars and all, DIY in general. So my ratchet socket set nearly went, and I noticed my actual little sockets don't fit the new Draper set I borrowed off a friend here. So I've treated myself to a brand new socket set. So it's got the 3/8 inch, 1/2 inch and 1/4 inch full set. Got and spoiled myself there. But hey, we've got to do that once in a while. And the other thing, I should have bought these years ago, and certainly before I did the boat, is a set of ratchet spanners. Oh man, getting those bolts out the back of the boat would have been so much easier if I had that. These are good because they get into tighter places, and because they can get around the bolt, it doesn't matter the depth of the thread, which limits these sometimes. Even though I have got in this set some deep sockets, but it does limit the thread. These are a lot more versatile. Right, these are so nice. I didn't realise just how hard my old ratchet was. There we go. Because there's a ratchet this side as well, you can undo both sides, so you kind of got double the speed. These are Draper, so they're good. They're a nice spec. They're good set of kit without being horrendously expensive. They're not like Snap-on, who are obviously the leading supplier of this sort of of spanners and what. Too expensive for me, and I'm not good enough for that. Ooh. This one's going to be a pain to get this one off. Right, that's the 4 rollers off. These probably could be reconditioned, to be frank, so worth keeping maybe. So next job is just to get this off, and these are just the bolts. 4 bolts on here, but same as on the new one actually. I didn't realise I only had to loosen these off, didn't I? And it all comes apart. So there we go. That's everything in bits. So we can get that in the van now on the way home. So we'll come back and get that before we go. Right, we've got ready to go. Now, the difference we're going to do today is we're not going to get the bearings in the water. You're not supposed to get the bearings of your trailer in the water. And on this boat, she'll launch in this fine. Well, we're about to find out, aren't we, if she will or not. So, while we've got her here, actually, nicely on the trailer. Oh God, it's cold. Actually, it's not that cold. It's not that cold at all. Anyway, while we're on the trailer, let's on the water and on the trailer, I think one of these rear rollers is slightly off, and if you see, look, this roller is coming over the edge of the chine, and this rod is well on that side. So I'm not quite sure. She's on the middle rollers, but she seems to be a little bit twisted. So I think what we need to do is make sure we just remedy that. She shot off the trailer then, so much so that she actually bounced back a little bit more than I thought. So there we go. So we've got her fully under control. Look, 2 lines. If you want the stern to come out, just give the little bow line a tug. If you want the bow to come out and in, just do that. Just keep her off there. I just realised I've not got my fenders out, but we're going to put her on. May as well just leave her here. It's very calm today at the moment, so I think we'll leave her here. One thing I'd say about the Lugger, after having now a good amount of experience with her, is she is so easy to launch. So easy, you know. I'd say she's as easy to launch off the trailer. The mirror is off the trolley, to be honest, to be quite frank. So should be all right like that. Right, let's get this trailer and the van and everything else up to where the standing's going to be, and then we'll come back for the boat. There we go. So I haven't got my wheel clamp, so I've locked her up with my bike chain. Not perfect, but it's something, isn't it? And I've locked her to Mocking D, so this can't really go anywhere. I don't think you can even swing that onto the trailer. Oh well. I'm a little bit paranoid at the moment about the trailers going missing. I'm told that the smaller ones tend to be the ones people sort of pinch. That's what I'm told. My trailer is marked, and it's quite distinctive. So if you were to pinch it, it wouldn't be difficult to find. And it's like UV marks and stamped. I've actually got some little stamp marks on there, and I've put a code on it that only I know, so you know, it's quite easy to identify. So there we go. I think it'll be fine. So I've just undone this one. Whoop. I'm just going to move it. Oh. That's bang on, like that. Good thing about this 3/8 ratchet is it's really heavy duty, so it's perfect for this job. One last measure, bang on, 24. So these are now definitely in the middle. They may be a little bit twisted, but I think that'll do for now, and we'll work it out when we get the boat back on the trailer again. Engine's on, outboard rather is on. Let's get this gaff up, then we'll be able to clear the deck a little bit. I think there's a breeze, you can feel the breeze picking up a little bit. Oh god, I'm soaking myself here. What's really interesting is all the water in here has gone. That's interesting. That means these buoyancy tanks aren't sealed at the bottom, are they? That's really interesting. I'm going to have to consult the manual on this, but they're probably not sealed here. We'll have a look when we stop the boat. Let's get the gaff up. I've used the round turn and 2/2 hitches to connect the gaff halyard because I can't remember that really cool knot. Such is the way with cool knots. You can never remember them. You need practice, I think, to remember the knot. This normally wouldn't take me 5 minutes to do, but it's taken me ages. It's basically untangling lines. Just double check that's up. Yep, that's good. What I like to do is stow the sail. The sail obviously needs to be tied to the mast. So I'm just going to use this little line here. I'll do kind of a sort of marlin hitch, just to, sort of a mini marlin hitch, just to make that nice and secure. That'll do us. Right, I'm going to go get rid of the van, and I think then we're ready to rock and roll. Giving the Mini 3 Pro active tracker a little run for its money. I found the active track pretty poor on all my DJI drones, other than my very first one, funnily enough. But especially on the boat, they've all been pretty poor. The Air 2S in particular has a horrible tracking on the boat, and I struggle with it on the camper van. And you'd think that the big blue and white thing would be easy to track. But as you can see, the drone is tracking me. Hello. Just need to adjust it a little bit so that's better. We're going to go onto the boat, and I did think it is sort of coffee time, or second coffee time for me. So I'm going to go over and see if we can get coffee at the other mooring. Although having said that, I just realised I forgot my wallet. So that's not going to happen, is it? Drone's tracking us. It's actually tracking the boat, so a little boat icon comes up. So that's awesome. I'm really chuffed about that. Just going through the moorings now. There's Desperado, our friendly neighbourhood sinking boat. Draggletail, good friend Draggletail. Oh, they won't be happy to see those seagulls on there. Oh. There's Slow Gin over there. Now, he's got his CDs flying, all that. Oh, yeah. Don't like those, do they? Oh dear. Well, it's not your boat, Seagull. It's not your boat, I'm afraid. Go find a tree. No, a tree. We're home. Hey, this is where we belong. We've got her anchored up, so she would probably point out where the rest of these boats are pointing, but because I've anchored her here a little bit, I've just pulled her stern into the water, into the shore, sorry, so she's nice and stable right here. When you get out there, it's a little bit, yeah, a little bit of wind. You can see here though, we've got like certainly a northerly wind, northeasterly I would say. And of course here, look, you can actually see the shape of the water, this little bay here. It's not quite as big as it used to be because a lot of the trees have been chopped down here. Well, a lot of the bushes anyway, these are quite high. So, but we're nice and sheltered here. We'll be able to do quite a few bits and bobs now. So first job I want to do is get this mainsail sorted out, and that means the first job is how we're going to attach the sail to the mast when it's flying. So let's take advantage of this sort of calm weather at the moment, and let's get the sail up and let's see if we can get it attached to the mast. And I've got a few different ways I'd like to test. So we've got the mainsail flying now, although I've tied it up at the top there so it can't fly away too much. And as you'll see, we've got Let me try and show you here. We've got 1 eyelet, 2 eyelets, 3 and 4. That's actually the reefing eyelet there, but we can still put that on the mast. Now, so we've got 4 of those. Now, the first idea, which I did do last week, was to try and get just 1 piece of string and sort of just lace it to the mast, but I found that quite difficult to undo. So I've got a few ideas. The first idea is to just use elastic to get this these elastic dongly things to get these attached to the mast. So they do go through. Okay, I've done that the wrong way round for me, so let me put it in this way. So let's try this first. My only issue with these I don't think they're going to be strong enough or long enough, but they're definitely long enough. Okay, they might work. So they might work. The other idea is I have actually got some stronger elastic which we can put through, and then we can create these are my parao beads. We can create something like we use for the parao beads, where you put a little loop in one side, put a parao bead in, and then that can loop over. A little bit like we use on the gaff there as well. What we've got to be able to do is raise the sail and lower the sail easily and quickly. So I think the trouble with the elastics are they do raise. They're a little bit tight on the mast, as you can probably see up there, but will they come down? No. So that's going to be a problem, isn't it? Because if you look at these two, they're going to be too high to undo. So we're not going to be able to use the elastic dongles, or I would say a manual dongle thing like that. So the next idea was to use this 4mm, 3mm polyester line, and we do lash it to the mast, but we do it so in a fashion so we can undo it quite easily. So what I'm going to do is a test. I'm going to put this through the top eyelet, and then we're going to do a nice big knot there. And okay, look, it's a figure 8. Will it hold it? Yeah, probably use a better knot. Now, what we then need to do, we're going to need to cut this a little, aren't we? So let's just kind of work out how much we need. We're just going to cut this. I'm going to need to cut this line. So we're going to now wrap this around here, thread it through and lace it through. I mean, it's important to note it doesn't need to be like tight, you know, it just needs to hold the sail a little bit tighter, if you know what I mean. So it goes that way, doesn't it? And then that way, round through this one, round. So look, that's now lashed loosely. So if we want to lower this, it's going to come down nice and easy. We'll be able to get it, hook it over. Like, you know, on the mirror, it's really awkward, isn't it, to get the gaff down. It gets stuck on the spinnaker hook, but that'll be fine. We can live with that. Now, if we raise the sail, you can see it. Oh, I'm stood on it. That won't do. But you can see it now raises fully. Let's just get that and tie that off. Oh, we've got a bit of rain coming in. Is that rain? Oh, I'm sorry, it's a bit of water on the sail. There we go. And then all we need to do is lash that like this. So if you can see that, we don't need it tight. We just need it sort of tight. Now, we could have a little cleat on here that would just cleat that off and hold it. And then when we want to bring the sail down, we'll just release it. So that might work quite well, mightn't it? So I like this idea because it means I don't have to go up there. So let's test this. Let's see if we'll just land. Don't let go of your gaff, halyard. Let's do that again. So I've got this nice and tight now. and we're going to just lower this down. And actually, to be honest with you, as it comes down, it bunches up, doesn't it? So you don't actually need this tied to anything other than just tied off onto the mast. So let's do that. Yeah, that's really interesting, isn't it? Let's just get this halyard, oh, tighten off again, cleated off. So let's get the halyard flying right to the top. So there we go. And then, now let's have a look. This would normally be there. We could cleat it to this, couldn't we? We could cleat it to that. Or we just have it tied off on something here. Like that. Look. Something like that. And we tie it off on... We need an eyelet or something. I think an eyelet's probably a good idea. So we need an eyelet down here to hold it. So imagine if that is clamped there. And then what we now do is just let the halyard down. You can see the sail's going to come down because it's just loose. There you go, look at that, brilliant. So that works exactly how I want it to work. So let's go raise that gaff again. And we'll tie that off. I think we need a little, all we need is a little fairly to tie that off on. And then we'll see how that goes, yeah? That's it. Obviously we can always tighten this. And I did think about doing a bowline, but of course then you're a little bit stuck maybe as to, you know, undoing this. You may want to undo this in an emergency. I also want to undo it when I'm perhaps reefing, because I've used one of the reefing eyes up here, up there. So we need to undo it. Actually, we will need to remove it from here as well and retie it. But that is gonna, look, solves the problem, ties it nicely to the mast. But now, when we wanna lower the the sail, you can see it comes down nice and easy. We do have a little bit of a mess down here of line and whatnot, but I think that's the least of our worries really. There we go. Right, they're brilliant. I'm really chuffed with those actually. I think they're going to be really good. Just have to be a little bit careful with them for now. And then that'll just go in. Yeah, we just need to grind a few of the little bits off there. But that comes in, comes forward, won't move really. And then what we've got to do is tack this leather in. So we're going to go and do that now. I'm going to go and cut the leather now. I think I'm going to keep the width and just do one big leather pad there, because this could move about a bit. So I'm just going to mark that off where I need to cut it. Right, there's I think it was, was it that piece? Oh yeah, that's it. There we go. That should be more than fine, like that. And then I'm just going to tap these little copper nails that I got from Drascombe. So you're supposed to use these on the leathers you get, but I just glued these ones on here. I don't know if you can see on the mast, and they've been fine, and on the mizzen as well, the mizzen mast. There we go, and they're nice and flush, so they're not going to hurt it. I'll just pop that nail back in there because I don't want it to go in the lake. So you may be able to just see I've just shaved these little drips of zinc off here, and then that does need aligning a bit better. But does go in, and I think it will loose off. Ah, you can see that's the wrong side now. So we need that anchor this way round. There we go, and then that's that done.